Junk. All right, there we go. Hopefully, you're getting sound now. I have no idea if you're actually getting sound from what I'm watching. I don't know if it's fucking that shit up too. What a morning. All right. Well, let's see. Let's see if you guys get sound.
Massive fraud. All.
Oh, down on that one.
But as people.
Down on that one.
Federal judge has cleared.
On that one.
The president and.
Okay, good. Seems good. Ay, ay, ay. My apologies, YouTube. I don't know what the deal with that was. Let's pull you guys up again. I think absolutely certain we're good to go here. Good to go? Good to go. Beautiful. All right. Swear. One day I'm just gonna chuck the whole thing out the window. I'm just gonna. Nope. I'm only half kidding about that. Let's see. Where did we leave off? We did Duffy. I think we were doing Duffy and you guys couldn't hear Duffy.
But as people travel through our skies, we want to have the most enjoyable experience for them. And we know that we have families and nursing mothers. Someone might want to come through and do a couple pull-ups. We're open to any ideas that airports have to make the experience better as Americans travel. And again, job number one is less delays, less cancellations. I'm working on that. But we can walk and chew gum at the same time, also looking at airports in addition to safe skies and efficient skies. But as people travel through our skies, we want to have the most enjoyable experience for them. And we know that we have families and nursing mothers. Someone might want to come through and do a couple pull-ups.
Excuse me. All right, federal judge has cleared the way for more records in Ghislaine Maxwell's case to be released.
Federal judge has cleared the way for more records in the Ghislaine Maxwell case to be released. Maxwell was convicted in 2021 as a co-conspirator of sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein and sentenced to 20 years in prison. The judge approved the release of grand jury transcripts along with unclassified travel and financial records. Victims' names will be removed for their protection. Congress voted last month to force all government records related to Epstein to be released by the end of next week, so we will see. Federal judge has cleared the way for more.
In 2009, former President Obama accepted the Nobel Peace Prize on this day in history.
The president announced his plans for expanding the war in Afghanistan. Today in Norway,
Fucking garbage, man. I swear, I'm going to chuck this thing.
he accepted the Nobel Peace Prize.
There we go.
The president addressed that contradiction, saying there are times force is necessary, is morally justified in order to achieve peace. In accepting the award, he became the fourth American president to be so honored. Earlier, the president signed a book, adding his to the names of previous winners. And tonight, thousands paid tribute to the president and the first lady with a torchlight procession. But most important was his speech.
In part, this is because I am at the beginning and not the end of my labors on the world stage. Compared to some of the giants of history who have received this prize, Schweitzer and King, Marshall, and Mandela, my accomplishments are slight. Perhaps the most profound issue surrounding my receipt of this prize is the fact that I am the Commander-in-Chief of the military of a nation in the midst of two wars. I'm responsible for the deployment of thousands of young Americans to battle in a distant land. Some will kill, and some will be killed. We must begin by acknowledging a hard truth. We will not eradicate violent conflict in our lifetimes. There will be times when the use of force is not only necessary, but morally justified. For make no mistake, evil does exist in the world. A nonviolent movement could not have halted Hitler's armies. Negotiations cannot convince Al-Qaeda's leaders to lay down their arms. I understand why war is not popular, but I also know this: the belief that peace is desirable is rarely enough to achieve it. Where force is necessary, we have a moral and strategic interest in binding ourselves to certain rules of conduct. And even as we confront a vicious adversary that abides by no rules, I believe the United States of America must remain a standard bearer in the conduct of war. That is what makes us different from those whom we fight. That is a source of our strength. That is why I prohibited torture. That is why I ordered the prison at Guantanamo Bay closed. We can acknowledge that oppression will always be with us.
It ain't closed yet, buddy. But I bet there's a nice warm spot just waiting for you.
And still strive for justice.
The penthouse suite.
We can admit the intractability of deprivation and still strive for dignity. Clear-eyed, we can understand that there will be war and still strive for peace.
Guantanamo, huh? Funny you bring that up, Barack. Australia's Sydney Harbour Bridge has been lit with the message, "Let them be kids," to mark the launch of the social media ban. In other news, Australia is still transing kids. Let them be kids unless they're transgender, in which case chop off their peepees. Oh, come on now. There we are. A Maine whistleblower tells News Nation he believes there is fraud in the state's Medicaid program, similar to a recent fraud scandal in Minnesota.
Our own
I guarantee you there is.
Rich McHugh.
It is going to be all over the Northeast. Not to mention elsewhere.
Speaking to a whistleblower who says his former boss defrauded millions of dollars from that state's Medicaid program through services that were never delivered.
Any major metro area, really.
We started getting some clients calling and saying, months later that their client owed them hours. They hadn't come in for these shifts and stuff. But I had a time card for it. And
this is Somali, specifically Somali fraud. Okay.
They were billing for it.
Our Rich McHugh in Lewiston, Maine.
Sorry, I thought we were talking fraud more broadly. Yeah, Somalis are kind of limited to the area up there, but it's going to be rampant in multiple states.
For us once again with the latest from his investigation. Rich?
Hi, Blake. The more we look into this story, the crazier it gets. The man who ultimately founded and was the executive director of this social services agency here in Lewiston, Maine, and in other parts of Maine, was at the same time last year running for president of Jubaland, which is a subsection of Somalia on the border with Kenya. His name is Abdullahi Ali, and in an interview, and this is where it gets real crazy, with Kenyan media, he openly discussed contributing money back to Somalia and paramilitary forces. In the interview, first reported by the Maine Wire back in March, Abdullahi Ali posted to his own presidential media page in a section we had translated. He said this.
When I was away and abroad, the financial contributions I was sending back were being used to support the forces for buying bullets, ammunition, and food.
Republican State Senator Matt Harrington here in Maine, he's demanded an investigation from Governor Janet Mills.
It's just an absolute slap in the face to every Maine taxpayer that these funds that could be used to help Maine people, Maine veterans, Maine senior citizens, Maine families who are struggling are being funneled to Somalia directly.
Now, Chris Bernardini, the self-described billing guru who blew the whistle, says he was horrified when he found out about this.
I learned that he was running for president of Jubaland, which is like a small country inside of Somalia.
There's a country inside of Somalia?
Which is like a small country inside this. I learned that he was running for president of Jubaland, which is like
Jubaland? Jubaland? Jubaland. I spelled it wrong. Jubaland is a federal member state. So it's like a state, not a country. I guess. Okay. Maybe at one time it was. Interesting. Okay.
Like a small country inside of Somalia, and that he had admitted to funding the militia groups over there. I guess that's part of
Somalia.
Oh yeah, they love that shit.
Somalia. That's part of their thing that they.
That's part of their culture.
Do. Every president has a militia that they have to fund in order to run for president.
And so what'd you think about that?
I was horrified.
Now, as you know, Blake, you saw yesterday, we tried to go to Gateway. They essentially slammed the door on us, said no comment. We tried to reach out to Governor Janet Mills repeatedly, no comment. The head of Health and Human Services won't respond, nor will the 3 Democratic Somalian-American members of the House of Representatives here in Maine. Nobody will speak to us.
Fudge.
Rich McHugh, once again, snow on the ground there, Lewiston, Maine for us tonight. Rich, thank you.
Sick. All right. Oh, you find all the best stuff, Steph. I don't know how you do it. All right, let's see what's next here. Fast food chain In-N-Out retiring the number 6. They're really retiring the number 6-7? That is insane. I guess Gen Alpha now. They're fried, bro. Fried. So they've retired the number 6-7 from their ticketing system following disruptions from teens and children swarming the restaurant to film employees announcing the order number. If you're asking yourself, what the fuck? Well, I don't blame you. But this is the thing. The kids, it's due to some song. Let me find it. And this has somehow become a meme. Anytime they can get someone to say 6-7, it's apparently the most hilarious thing in the world. I don't get it. My daughter's friends do it. So I've had to like kind of familiarize myself with what the fuck, whatever this is.
That I can't pass the shooter, stay strapped. I don't need mine. Bro, put belt right to they behind. The way that switch, I don't need 9. 6-7. I just been right on the highway.
No idea. I don't get it.
7 trend that went viral in 2025. May finally be coming to an end. Well, at least at In-N-Out Burger. Employees say the West Coast burger chain has retired the number.
As far as youth activities go, this seems relatively harmless. I'd much rather they jump up and down and cheer when someone says 6-7 than go out robbing and stealing and whatever else the youth do these days.
For 6-7 from its ticket system, following disruptions from teens and children swarming the.
It's not exactly a good sign when it comes to the intellectual capabilities of our coming generations, though. Not a good sign.
Restaurant to film employees announcing the order number.
Crazy. Don't get it. Officially removed the number 6-7 from their ordering system. All new details on the Louvre, the big jewel heist. Let's see.
Some pretty startling revelations. We've just learned that there was a security camera over the other side of the Louvre at the spot filming the robbers as they placed a cherry picker and then cut a hole in the window and entered the building. But the image from that security camera was not transmitted live to the security guards in the museum's control room. In fact, it was only seen about 4 minutes later, by which time the robbers had already smashed the glass cabinets, grabbed 8 pieces of France's priceless crown jewels and had left the building. There were, we're told, not enough screens in the control room for the guards to view all the sensitive camera points simultaneously. That weakness was highlighted earlier this year in a museum audit, but not addressed. And check this, there were 5 audits of the Louvre over the last decade. This morning's review by a government watchdog said if police and private security guards had have been alerted just 30 seconds earlier, then they could have stopped the robbers escaping. Guys, please.
Wow.
Officers rushing here on that morning in October initially arrived at this side of the Louvre because they weren't told that the daylight heist was happening over the other side of the museum. The jewels, of course, have not yet been recovered.
They still haven't gotten them, huh? I doubt they will. Not anymore. Not at this point. Brazil lawmakers approved bill to cut Bolsonaro's sentence after ruckus. Ruckus? Her lower house of Congress approved a bill early Wednesday that could slash Bolsonaro's prison sentence for plotting a coup after efforts by lawmakers to disrupt proceedings sparked chaos in Parliament. Could see his sentence cut to just over 2 years. Better than what he had before. Jeez. Oh, okay, breakdown on the benefits of the big, beautiful bill. Tax cuts kicking in next year, that's right.
The big, beautiful bill, what they were trying to do is to say, just be patient. Starting in January, you'll start to see things like this. The no tax on tips and overtime, there's a max reduction for tips is $25,000. So imagine if you are somebody who uses tips as part of your salary or to make your living, that will have an impact. The senior deduction, you have to be 65 years old. It phases out at $75,000. But again, for people who are saying, gas prices, which are lower, but that food prices are higher, that it's hard for them, that might help as well. There's a no tax on car loan interest. Now, that can be helpful, but what might be even more helpful is what they announced last week, which is they're doing away with some of the EPA rules on these car and fuel mileage. That actually will help bring the cost of cars down, probably even more. And then a child tax.
I am kind of pumped to see how car companies respond to that. In terms of how they change their product lineups. Could open the door to maybe producing some significantly more affordable and simpler vehicles for those of us who aren't like loaded.
Tax credit expansion, that's very bipartisan. A lot of people like this. A lot of people love to see good economic news, but I would say Josh Holmes, our next guest here. Josh, on the big, beautiful bill, what they were trying.
No tax on tips or overtime. That's pretty cool. Hakeem Jeffries does not understand how striking boats of narco-terrorists, smuggling drugs, keeps America safe. And shit.
Chiefs of Staff Dan Kate, others were involved. Tell us, as you can, what you heard yesterday. Did you see that second video? Did you have some of your questions answered? If not, what remain?
Well, I still haven't seen any evidence that justifies these strikes, which we believe are extrajudicial in many instances. We're still trying to determine the basis of the authority for carrying out these strikes that have been taking place and the overall rationale in terms of promoting the safety and the national security of the American people. It certainly is also the case that we're arguing for more transparency for members of the House of Representatives.
The Joint Chiefs.
Huh, Brendan Gill. Brendan Gill nuking Jasmine Crockett. Why not?
Texas is a state
I like Mr. Gill.
where President Trump won by 14 points. She's saying she doesn't need Trump voters for her to win this. Yes, she does. Listen, you know she can't win. I know she can't win, and she does apparently too. Now, let me tell you, Sean, if Texans support one thing, it's law and order. And listen, this is probably the most pro-criminal candidate Democrats could have possibly found. This is somebody who has supported the defund the police movement, somebody who has said on record that just because you commit a crime doesn't mean that you're a criminal. This is somebody who has said on record that just because somebody crosses our border illegally, that is not a crime. Texans want somebody representing them who's going to stand for law and order, and that is certainly not Jasmine Crockett. Texas is a
Vice President Vance will travel to Allentown, Pennsylvania next week to talk about affordability and the economy. Both Trump and Vance will be deployed for the midterms. Yeah, we heard, who was it? I think it was Susie Wiles in some interview the other day, basically saying that Trump is going to be out on the campaign trail like he was in 2024. So full court press. Miami, Florida has elected a Democrat mayor for the first time in nearly 30 frickin' years. Are you serious? That's not a good sign. Democrat Eileen Higgins defeated Trump-backed opponent Republican Emilio Gonzalez. Eileen Higgins.
Who also care a lot about Florida. We just learned for the first time in nearly 30 years a Democrat has been elected mayor of Miami. Is that
not good?
That a warning sign for Republicans?
Yes.
Listen, I'm more concerned about Pennsylvania than the mayor of Miami. I'm more concerned about what people are feeling in their pocketbooks across the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, across Michigan.
Do you think the president saying
Ohio.
A+++ on the economy was smart?
No, listen, I think the president should say, listen, I feel your pain. We got to make it better. To Adam's point and David's point, you can't tell people what they're feeling isn't real. When people go to the pump, they take out a $20 bill, they make a decision. How much do I put in the tank? How much do I save for my kids' dinner tonight, right? And so they're making those decisions every day. People feel that in their pocketbooks. You can't tell them it's not real when it is real. And so the numbers may say one thing, that the economy may be trending in the right direction, but people want results immediately. They're not satisfied to sit around and wait for another, 6 months, 8 months, 10 months. The president needs to be out there. The president, the cabinet, members of Congress need to be out there telling people what they're going to do to make things more affordable. And you're going to see this is coming up now in the Congress with the health care debate, right? On what are they going to do with these Obamacare subsidies? People's health care costs are going up. What are Republicans going to do to try to help bend that cost curve and make that more affordable? So this narrative isn't going away. Democrats are smart to seize upon it, and Republicans best get on offense quickly.
Also,
definitely not good. Eric Gisler, Democrat, has defeated Mac Guest, the fourth Republican, in Georgia's House District 121 special election. Gotta be shitting me, man. Lost by less than 200 votes. Less than 200 votes. Difference. Just under 100 people had shifted. Jeez, man. Foreign tourists could be required to disclose 5 years of social media histories. Customs and Border Protection proposal would apply even to countries that don't require visas to enter. Data would be mandatory for new entrants to the U.S., regardless of whether they are entering from countries that require visas, such as residents of the UK and Germany. Yeah. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent is now in charge of investigating huge Somali fraud under Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. Gave money to terrorists in Somalia. Yep. 35% chance those who did it get deported. Make it 100. Oh, on betting markets. Somalians who defrauded government to fund terrorists, will they get deported? Better. Australia's social media ban for teens under 16 now in effect. First country to do so. Some are banned, but some are exempt. Interestingly, all right. Seriously, they exempted Roblox, one of the worst offenders. They've at least banned Snapchat and Instagram and Facebook, TikTok, Twitch, Kick. Trump heard it was the pilot's birthday on Marine One and gave him a presidential challenge coin. That's sick. I heard it was your birthday. That's fun. Last night from O'Keefe, a professor at Georgetown University just sent me a legal letter begging me not to publish the video of my undercover date with him. Should I back down and not publish the video because I'm scared of getting sued? No. Publish the video. Duh. Oh, let's see. Oh, John Flood. Okay. John B. Flood. Flood Law. Oh, boy. I feel like I know that name. Or where I've seen that before. All right. Writing to notify you that we represent so-and-so concerning an encounter you recently had with him in Washington, D.C., Mr. Flood. Our understanding that Mr. Flood recently agreed to meet you on a social basis. Upon your invitation to him during the encounter, which we understand you secretly filmed and recorded without Mr. Flood's knowledge or consent, Flood discussed with you personal issues to include issues concerning his sexual orientation, his work and career, and various political issues. Oh. I wonder if O'Keefe, if it was O'Keefe that went undercover and met with him as a gay. He's done it before. Well, can't wait to see this one. Oh, wow, look at that. Social media in Australia right now. Updates to our terms. Users must now be 16 or older to use TikTok in Australia. We'll use your age information to confirm if you're old enough to use TikTok. Wonder how they get that. Ursula von der Leyen, chief liar of the EU, European Commission, rather, says that to prevent illegal border crossings, we must open more safe and legal pathways to Europe. Yes, to prevent illegal border crossings, we have to make the illegal border crossings legal. That way, they won't be illegal anymore.
And therefore, we must open more safe pathways, legal pathways to Europe. We must create more bridges between our continents. We must make sure that people can find a job where their talent is needed. Match the skills. Bring skills across our borders. And this is at the heart of our new talent partnership, which offer work routes into Europe. So far, 5 countries have signed up to them, and we hope that more of you will follow. This is such an important model to work on. We have just agreed to create a new talent pool. It will match the European employers and their needs with the non-European job seekers and their skills. And actually, we're launching the pilot of a gateway office in India, so that this will offer opportunities to work in Europe legally. And it could be a blueprint for partnership with other countries if we do it well. So the point is here, we have plenty of good ideas for legal mobility, but only together can we make this work. This approach is, I think, I'm deeply convinced, a win-win for Europe and all our partners in our alliance. People can develop new skills, they can find new opportunities at home, but it also gives the young people a chance to thrive. And it makes Europe more competitive, it makes Europe more attractive to innovative talent. So by working in partnerships, we have found safe alternatives to the lethal criminal smuggling networks. So, distinguished guests, we all have one common goal. The common goal is to drive the smugglers out of business, to save the lives of thousands of people who dream of a better life. I know this is still a long way to go, and it's a bumpy road without question. But our alliance is growing. So from today, the alliance moves to a more formal structure with a permanent secretariat and permanent funding to better match our growing ambitions. We will deepen our links with like-minded organizations like the G7, like the Council of Europe or the United Nations agencies. And I would like to call on other countries and organizations who share our commitment to join our efforts, to endorse the declaration.
Screw you, lady. One man was killed Tuesday night at a Minneapolis airport when a snowplow hit him. How does that happen?
Well, the snowstorm pummeling the Midwest has trekked over 1,000 miles from North Dakota to Ohio, with Minnesota getting caught smack dab in the middle, making a mess during the height of the evening commute.
This powerful winter storm slammed the Midwest overnight, bringing up to a half a foot of snow to the Minneapolis suburbs. The heavy snow made traveling treacherous. More than 200 cars and trucks ended up sliding off the road across Minnesota.
We love the snow.
In downtown Minneapolis, people braved the weather on skis and even bikes.
Is it a bit risky riding a bike in the snow?
A little bit. I've you can see the tracks.
A bit squirrely back there. Jake Johnson doesn't own a car, so rode his bike for some essentials.
I see you got some paper towels here.
I've got about 50 pounds of groceries in this backpack here.
Icy roads in North Dakota caused this SUV to spin out and crash into a disabled car near Fargo. In the Pacific Northwest, an atmospheric river dumping heavy rain in Oregon and Washington flooded homes and roads in Falls City near the banks of the Snoqualmie River east of Seattle. And Snoqualmie Falls crested at its highest point in a decade. This truck was no match for a waterlogged road as it tried to plow through. On Monday night, sheriff's deputies used drones.
Wow. Huh. Well, nothing about the snowplow there. I didn't hear anything about the guy getting killed by a snowplow, but yikes. I think we played that one. NVIDIA has built location verification technology that could indicate which country its chips are operating in, a move that could help prevent its AI chips from being smuggled into countries where their export is banned. Huh. Taliban arrests 4 young men for dressing up in Peaky Blinders outfits? Seriously? What's the big deal? Taliban? Like they're looking snazzy. They look great. On this day in 1999, CIA's Sherman Kent School for Intelligence Analysis was created to facilitate a culture of lifelong learning and excellence in analytic tradecraft and leadership. He looks like a trustworthy guy. The affordability issue is from the 22% increase in prices under Biden, full stop, Joe Kernan says.
But the affordability issue is from the 22% increase in prices in inflation under Biden. It's just full stop right there. That's the affordability issue. And you got to be able to explain that better.
Right. That's right. And look, I think that with the economic team, President Trump and the economic team led by Scott Bessent, you have people who very much understand this, and it was they were thrown, what I would say the worst economy for the average American in my adult lifetime, in terms of like you said, the incredible increase in prices at the household.
But the affordability issue.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Black hole spotted blasting winds at 130 million miles per hour. Fun. Yeesh. Ooh, mystery deepens as to why it took the FBI nearly 5 years to finally bust the pipe bomber. Especially considering they knew. They knew who he was. They knew. There's no way that they didn't know. I don't think there's anything new here. It's all stuff we know. Yep, they tracked that cell phone activity, geofencing. They knew. Trump admin is preparing a shakeup of anti-money laundering rules in an effort to overhaul a system for catching illicit transactions by drug traffickers, terrorists, and other criminals that banks complain is costly and ineffective. Justice Department files motion in court seeking to dismiss civil lawsuit filed by injured police officers who responded on January 6th. Wow. Officer suit sought court order to hang the legally required January 6th honorary plaque for police. Joke. Okay. Trump from last night.
We're also putting thousands of dollars in the pockets of hardworking Pennsylvanians with the largest tax cuts in American history. That's no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security for our great seniors, no tax. We're also putting thousands of dollars in the pockets of hardworking.
Weird. All right. Trump's DHS launches public database of the worst illegal aliens. Nice. DHS.gov/wow. Oh, worst of worst. Ugh. Zelensky says Ukraine could hold elections within months-ish. A little vague. Could be ready for elections within 3 months if partners can guarantee a safe vote during wartime, and if its electoral law can be altered How exactly? Kind of sounds like bullshit excuse making to me, Vladimir. Oh, yeah, I think we saw that one the other day. It was crazy. Tim Waltz has deleted his Planned Parenthood endorsement. What an idiot. So he just endorsed them like yesterday, I guess. Yep. Wow. Got ratioed big time. Surprise, surprise. Minnesota was the first state to establish an ironclad right to reproductive freedom after Roe fell. Planned Parenthood helped make it possible. I'm grateful for their endorsement and to have their continued partnership in this fight. There you go. University of Minnesota has launched a program to end the whiteness pandemic. What is the whiteness pandemic? They have it on their website. What is the culture of whiteness and why is it bad? We wanted to better understand the culture of whiteness and support parents to challenge it. Ah, New York prosecutors released never-before-seen body cam video of Luigi Mangione getting arrested.
New York prosecutors have released never-before-seen body cam footage of the moment Altoona police officers found Luigi Mangione after a 5-day manhunt in a Pennsylvania McDonald's last December.
Yeah, put your mask down with the phone. Yeah, sure. You should. I do. Okay. What's your name? What? What is it? Mark. Mark? Yes, sir. Mark what? Rosario. Rosario? Someone called. They thought you were suspicious. Oh, right. Is your ID on you? Yes. Thanks.
Mangione then hands over what officers say is a fake New Jersey driver's license with the name Mark Rosario.
Oh, she looks like someone.
In court Thursday, Altoona police officer Stephen Fox testified about the moments following that interaction. Fox also helped search Mangione's backpack and said he was suspicious there was something in it that could, quote, harm human life. Mangione's defense attorneys claim the backpack was searched illegally and are pushing to have the evidence found inside, including a notebook, a 9mm handgun, and a silencer, excluded from trial. Officer Fox also told the court about transporting Mangione to his arraignment, claiming that Luigi Mangione turned back and acknowledged the large media presence, saying, quote, all these people here for a mass murder? Wild. Court will resume on Thursday. He has pleaded not guilty to all charges.
Oh, weird. Sorry, I'm watching the, look at this. Oh, actually, I won't be able to pull it up on here, but the views on YouTube are like in a total bump. Like, I don't understand what the deal is with it. Look at this. Out of nowhere, it's like they just... We had like 50 people, 45 people tuned in, and it just like cratered out of nowhere for nothing. I don't know where everyone went. Look at that. Bizarre. Idea. YouTube's screwing with me. Pathetic. So sick. Over it. All right. Federal Reserve expected to cut interest rates for a third time this year. Congress moving to block Pentagon from cutting U.S. troops in Europe and South Korea. The NDAA. Okay. states that the U.S. cannot reduce its forces in Europe below 76,000 without submitting an assessment and certifying to Congress that such a move would not harm U.S. or NATO security interests. Yeah. Arrests of 3 major Afghan threats in 1 week underscores the need to examine those allowed in the U.S. You bet.
You know, ICE is an organization, an agency that was born out of 9/11. So that's our main mission, right, is counterterrorism, national security. So we want to ensure that nothing like that ever happens again, especially on a day like, you know, Pearl Harbor Day, right, that we want to make sure there are no surprise attacks ever again. You know, this individual, member of ISIS-K, he was supplying weapons to his father, who is still an Afghan national and a commander in the Taliban in Afghanistan to this day. He was arrested right down a few miles from here in the capital in Waynesboro. You know, but the same week we arrested this individual, we had the individual that shot the National Guardsmen, and then we also had the individual, another Afghan, who came in on the Operation Allies Welcome, who tried a weapon of mass destruction attack at the Air Force Joint Base in Fort Worth, Texas. So ICE has to go ahead and go back and revet these individuals. We have to look at who we let in, because there was over 190,000 of these Allied Welcome operation candidates that came in, that we have to go back and properly look at them. You know, ICE.
DOJ fights court ruling, it says, is blocking efforts to re-indict Comey. Of course they're trying to do that. Of course they're trying to block it. All right. Pardon me. That's right. On Monday, a federal judge temporarily blocked justice from accessing seized materials from Daniel Richman. Changes prosecutors relied on in arguing that Comey had authorized his friend, Richman, to make disclosures to the media. Pretty crucial piece for the case. Unbelievable. These judges are just outrageous. Yet again, federal judge blocks Trump's National Guard deployment to Los Angeles.
Parents in very
now Letitia James
states, blue and red, and then suddenly this letter comes out that is actually fairly threatening, saying that if you allow this type of discussion, you may be removed, and these boards could be in trouble for violating New York law. And the letter is very ambiguous. It suggests if you go into these areas, you're treading on thin ice. I think that there's a real effort here to chill free speech. James is trying to give cover to officials who have been stopping people, particularly parents, but also other board members, from speaking about transgender policies. This letter is going to give them cover to say, well, you know, we just got a letter from the New York Attorney General that we can't allow this discussion to go forward.
Well, you know, she likes to be in the news, so now she's back in the soup. So we'll keep her there. Thank you so much, Jonathan.
She loves the spotlight, though, doesn't she? President Trump will hold a round table today, 2 p.m., and will greet pastors in the Oval Office at 5 p.m. Very good. Incoming NASA head. Excuse me. Incoming NASA head Jared Isaacman just set the world record for the largest flag flown in free fall. Means the USA holds the record. Okay. On October 5th, 2025, over Benghazi, Libya, skydivers set a world record.
We will make
That is pretty neat.
America great again.
That's pretty cool. Wow. Neato. On Pearl Harbor Day. It would have been quite a sight to just look up and see the guy. Oh, thank you. I see out there. Picasiak says I'm sending mail today to the P.O. Box, so check in a week. I will definitely be doing that. And thank you. Thank you for sending whatever it is you're sending. All right, let's see. Up next, frantic moment. Gavin Newsom claimed his hair burst into flames while surveying the damage of the Palisades fire. I'm waiting for burning hair. Looking for burning hair. I'm not seeing. Nope, just looks windswept and gay. Extremely gay. Didn't see any fire. Dr. House says we're going to kick the tires on the childhood vaccine schedule. Good. Kick them twice. Why just once? Kick them again and again until that shit is stopped. Finally. China's DeepSeek set to announce a new AI model that used NVIDIA's Blackwell chips, which were smuggled into the country. Of course. DeepSeek reportedly tapped chips installed in data centers in various countries, then dismantled and shipped to China. But I guess they bought used, or I don't know. I don't understand what that means. Trump clears way for NVIDIA to sell powerful AI chips to China. Yeah, it's gonna get bad. I'm not really sure what they're going for with this, but News Nation uncovers massive Somali fraud scheme in Maine.
The more we dig into this story, the crazier it actually gets. We're learning now more about the man who founded
Jubaland
and was the executive director of this Gateway Community Services here in Maine. At the same time last year, he was running for president of Jubaland. That's a section of Somalia. His name is Abdullahi Ali. And in an interview with Kenyan media, openly discussed contributing money back to Somalia and paramilitary forces. In the interview, first reported by the Maine Wire back in March, Abdullahi Ali posted to his own presidential media page this interview. We had it translated. Here's what he said.
When I was away and abroad, the financial contributions I was sending back were being used to support the forces for buying bullets, ammunition, and food.
The more we dig into this story, the crazier it actually gets. We're learning now more about the
Wow. Yesterday, the Senate Democrats blocked Rick Scott's House-passed resolution condemning socialism as a failed ideology and the antithesis of the American dream. They blocked it. Didn't surprise anyone. Of course they did. Comer warns alleged fraud seen in Minnesota is likely more widespread than initially believed. Yep. You bet your ass it is. I could have told you that. I did. Glad they're recognizing it. That shit is a mess. Okay, Comer said his committee is investigating several areas and that revelations from whistleblowers counter Democratic claims that illegal migrants are not on welfare programs and that there is no fraud or abuse within the welfare system. The whole fucking thing is fraud and abuse. All the way down. Federal judge has ordered another batch of Epstein grand jury materials unsealed. It's the deadline's coming up in 9 days. We should see more here soon. Senator Katie Britt pushing for a ban on social media for American children under the age of 13, following suit with Australia, who banned 16 and under.
America, let's put it up now. In America, 59% would support a similar ban here in the United States. Is this coming to America's children, Senator?
It needs to, and I think when you look at what's happening right now with our kids, ages 13 to 17, they have said they actually feel more negative, feel more depressed. Almost 50% of them admit to that after being on social media. Look, the Surgeon General has said, the previous Surgeon General said, kids shouldn't be on social media until they're 16. Now is the time to act. But the truth is big tech has a grip on Congress, and Congress's inaction is feckless. I do not have to ask people what it is like to raise kids right now. I am living it. And we know the harms, and it is our job to put up the proper guardrails so that these kids can flourish. So I think the time for action is now. And I think that Australia taking this step, Bill, I hope leads the U.S. to actually doing something.
A couple of things here. It can't be foolproof. There must be workarounds, and I'm not here to suggest giving kids ideas here. But you're going to be studying this. Tell me your reaction on that. And are we giving parents a pass?
No, look.
A fair question, I suppose. For months, Judge Jeb Boasberg has been trying to build a criminal contempt case against Trump admin officials, including Kristi Noem, for allegedly defying his oral order to return planes out of U.S. airspace, flying criminal illegals to Central America in March. Boasberg has set a hearing for next week to hear testimony by a former DOJ employee and self-proclaimed whistleblower who made unsubstantiated allegations against Emil Bove related to internal discussions about the implementation of the President's Alien Enemies Act proclamation. Boasberg's entire contempt pursuit is an egregious power grab, an unconstitutional breach of the separation of powers. His efforts have been smacked down by both D.C. Appellate Court and SCOTUS, but Boasberg doesn't care, and you bet. He's helping the whistleblower, quote-unquote, anti-immigration zealots, and the media drag Emil Bove's name through the mud. The crisis in the judiciary is not represented by Bove's presence at a speech by his friend, former client, and former boss who appointed him. Oh yeah, the real crisis is Boasberg, of course. All the rest like him. Deer ransacks Tennessee Christmas store. Rudolph! No! Bad boy! Bad boy! Oh! Poor dear. He's a silly boy. That's great. Obamacare failing, and Democrats' only solution is to continue sending billions of tax dollars to insurance companies with no strings attached. Oh yeah.
So this
right up their alley.
This week we are going to vote on a Democrat proposal to send $83 billion directly from the federal treasury to the bank accounts of insurance companies. And that is going to cause the cost of health care in this country to continue to go up. I'm a doctor, practiced medicine in Wyoming for 24 years. People need the care that they need from a doctor that they choose at a price they can afford. And that all went away with Obamacare. I remember President Obama saying, oh, if you pass this, your premiums will go down by $2,500 a family a year. Instead, premiums
more than doubled.
Doubled. So what happened? Well, the Democrats wanted to hide these premium increases, so they said, we better send a lot of money directly to the insurance companies. Don't let the people see it. Send it right to the insurance companies. The insurance companies loved it. Premiums went up 221%, and the stock of the insurance companies went up 500% to 1,000%. That's what happened with Obamacare. And now at this point, over 90% of premiums are subsidized by the federal government. Obamacare was always pricey. It was never affordable. And then during COVID, people saw this and said, well, Democrats said, this is bad, as prices keep going up, what do we do? They said, we need to put new subsidies on top of the old subsidies, and that is the Biden COVID bonus subsidies. Those are the ones that are expiring at the end of this week. What happened? Well, the Democrats chose that date for expiration, but they also removed any income limits. You can make $1 million a year and you're still getting all the subsidies from the federal government paid in your name directly from the government to the insurance companies. And now they want to send another $83 billion. That's going to be the vote this Thursday. They're not going to pay any attention to the reforms that are needed because of the waste, the fraud, the abuse, and the corruption. And in just today's Washington Post, the editorial in today's Washington Post, Obamacare subsidies make it too easy to scam the system. That's what's happening. This system is full of waste, fraud, and abuse because they make it too easy to scam the system.
By design.
Well, I oppose sending these payments directly from the federal government to the insurance companies. They shouldn't be rewarded for what they have done. Money should go directly to patients so they can make their own decisions. And that'll drive down costs, make insurance companies compete to the people that are actually paying the bills, the taxpayers. Make them offer things that those patients want to have insurance, not held hostage in the straitjacket of the one-size-fits-all that is Obamacare that is hurting our country today.
Federal judge just granted President Trump and AG Bondi's request to unseal Epstein grand jury records in New York. Yep. The deadline's coming up on the 19th. Alpha News seeks answers about fraud from Governor Walz and Attorney General Keith Ellison. Dirtbag.
With massive fraud gripping the state, Minnesotans are asking questions, looking for answers, and demanding accountability. So Alpha News went to the state capitol and reached out to Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and Attorney General Keith Ellison. But here's what happened.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, good. My name is Liz Collin. I'm with Alpha News. I'm wondering if Governor Walz is here or anyone that I can speak with about fraud in Minnesota.
So unfortunately, I'm unable to comment on any of that, but let me see if our press secretary is here.
Okay. The reason I'm here, it's been several years and all of our questions have gone unanswered.
Yeah, let me see if our press secretary is available to comment on anything. I believe they're looking for comment on fraud in Minnesota.
That's right.
Okay. She just asked that an email be sent. I don't know if she's in a meeting right now or something, but.
So our questions will just remain unanswered. She can't speak with us? No one's here?
This is just all I was told. I'm not going to speak on behalf of the office, but so I'm just passing on what the press secretary has told me. I can re-provide you that email address if that would be helpful.
We have the email address, and we'll just continue emailing. But
okay. I am sorry about that.
Okay. Thank you for trying.
Yeah, no problem.
Appreciate it. My name's Liz Collin. I'm with Alpha News. Is Attorney General Ellison available or anyone in this office to answer a few questions about fraud in Minnesota?
I can call Press Secretary John Stiles.
Okay.
Or Brian.
We've just had many of our questions go unanswered personally by the Attorney General, so we were wondering if he'd be willing to answer any questions.
He's not available, first of all. Hi, this is Colleen, and Liz Collins is for us, and she wants to set up an appointment with Keith to meet him because he hasn't answered a lot of her questions. And she's asking, okay. Okay, just one second. Okay, I will call her. The answer is no, we will never have.
The answer is no what?
No, you will not have a meeting.
Ever with the Attorney General? That's the answer?
No. Mm-hmm. No.
It just seems
God, these people are so fucking weird. Look at them.
Strange.
Just look at this woman.
The top law enforcement officer in Minnesota is not willing to answer her questions.
The answer is no.
Thank you for trying.
Sure. Bye now.
Wow. Okay, HUD Secretary Scott Turner reports that from 2021 to 24, the foreign-born population increased by 6 million people.
When you have
At least.
over 12 million people coming over our borders unchecked, unvetted. This is straining our housing market from a supply standpoint, from an affordability standpoint. HUD just put out a report and found that between 2021 and 2024, the foreign-born population in our country in just 3 short years is 6 million people, which is the most in that period of time in American history. And so we cannot forego the thought that because of illegal immigration, because of people coming to our country, prices have risen, supply has been squeezed, but we're working very hard at HUD, along with the president and other leaders in the administration, to bring down the cost and raise the supply when they're doing it through interagencies. But we need the Fed to cut rates. We need to continue to deport illegals that are taking houses from the American people. So we're very intentional and focused about it at HUD and across the administration.
Yeah. And that
when you have
Oh, just the news. Okay. Solomon and Amanda Head. Governor Pritzker refuses to cooperate with the USDA and release the eligibility rules for SNAP. They're going to have their benefits cut off, and he can explain that to the citizens of Illinois. Yeah.
Well, it better, because we're going to use it. I'm on the House Agriculture Committee, and I fought very hard to ensure that illegals are not included in SNAP benefits. And now the state of Illinois, Governor Pritzker, refuses to cooperate with the USDA and release the eligibility rules for SNAP. And they're going to have their benefits cut off, and he can explain it to the citizens in Illinois. But American people have had it. They know that they've been abused. And they want what President Trump is trying to do, and that is transparency in the government and accountability.
Why do you think a governor wouldn't want to let the people who pay SNAP benefits, the federal government, see what's going on there? What are they trying to hide?
Well, we're a destination state for every rotten thing. Obviously, we're for illegals to come here and sign up for every single kind of benefit. We've spent billions of dollars that we don't have on the health care for illegals, and I'm certain that they're all signed up for SNAP benefits as well. And this is all about elections. It's about getting their votes.
Yeah, it is, right? And then I guess at the end of the day, apportionment too, right? Because every illegal that's counted ultimately helps set the formulas for federal funding, for representation. Has that been the long game that Democrats have played, to use illegal immigration to hijack apportionment?
Absolutely. And we lost one district. Last time, I kind of think we should have lost 2. But, you know, there again, in light of voter rolls, if they won't be transparent and they won't tend to the voter rolls and make sure ineligible people, dead people, and illegals are not on there, they can have their federal funding withdrawn to run the elections.
Yeah.
Okay. Trump admin enforcing English proficiency rules for truck drivers through roadside tests, allowing officers to pull over those who fail for safety reasons, following fatal crashes linked to language barriers. Oh, yeah. Illinois trucking firm owner Vadim Shpak moans about increased costs for travel and insurance hikes, as his mostly Eastern European staff avoids southern routes amid fears of scrutiny. Dirtbag. Dirtbag. Get out. Firefighters were on the scene as a blaze ripped through the top floor of a 6-story apartment building on Manhattan's Upper West Side. Whoa. No deaths. Yikes. All right. Royal Caribbean facing a wrongful death lawsuit. It alleges that crew members went too far in restraining an unruly passenger who had been served at least 33 alcoholic drinks while waiting for his room to be ready. Sounds like maybe they shouldn't be going after the crew members that restrained him. They should probably be going after the crew members that served him 33 alcoholic drinks. That is just nuts.
Obviously, anybody served
who can drink that much?
33 drinks in a short amount of time, and I'm not sure we actually know the full span of
Okay, I guess clearly he can.
time, but we know that it happened the day that he boarded the cruise, and they were waiting for a room, I believe. So, number one, if one or two bartenders served him that amount of alcohol, that's problematic, number one. Number two, we see the way that he was acting on that cruise ship, and I do think that at that point, the staff on the cruise, the security on the cruise, they do have a duty to make sure other passengers are safe. The question becomes, and I think it's very interesting, we're learning from this autopsy that they're claiming that this was a homicide, and I'm not so sure how we make that leap between everything that we've seen here to now saying
now he's got his shirt off.
It's a homicide. So I don't know what they found in his system to lead them to that belief, but we now know that there's this lawsuit. I think it's going to be very interesting, because if it's a homicide, are they going to charge someone criminally? Because this lawsuit obviously is seeking monetary damages, and it's been filed in civil court. So we have two competing theories here. There's the civil side, there's the criminal side.
Ow. Only 31% of ABC, CBS, and NBC's coverage of the Twin Cities was spent on the welfare fraud scheme, which stole $1 billion from taxpayers, at least that we know of. Probably a lot more.
Newsbusters writes the following here. Overall, ABC, CBS, and NBC have now spent 36 minutes and 41 seconds on the Twin Cities, but only 31% of that, 11 minutes, 28 seconds, if you can't read it, explained the years-long scheme that stole over $1 billion from taxpayers and led to dozens of convictions. And when they do try to cover it, they do not cover it honestly.
Of course not. They play it down.
Watch.
This week, President Trump referred to people in the Somalian community as quote-unquote garbage, even singling out Congressman Ilhan Omar.
Oh, they are. He was right.
This, of course, a part of his broader crackdown on illegal immigration. But what do you make of the rhetoric that we heard this week from President Trump?
It is incredible. And of course, once again, it is not new.
She knows, everybody knows, Joel, that he was talking about the people who committed the fraud in the Somali community. I mean, it's like the how many times, find people on both sides, bloodbath. It's the same thing. It's taken out of context and used against him, and you think, come on, it's dishonest journalism.
Okay, Besant getting it up for comment here. Confirms $100 to $150 billion in tax refunds coming in 2026, largest in history, totaling $1,000 to $2,000 per household. Not nothing.
President Trump has closed the border. 2 million people have gone home, so check on immigration. Bond market had the best year it's had since 2020. Interest rates are down, mortgage rates are down. We're starting to see life in the housing market, and rental rates are down about 5%.
Got Michael Jackson cranking in the background.
5%. I expect they'll be down 10 or 15 from the peak. And then 3, inflation. We're working on that. The energy prices are down. Gasoline nationally is now below $3 a gallon. It's below $2 in a couple of states. So I think we're on a very good track on inflation. And I'm also the IRS commissioner as well as the Treasury Secretary. And
oh shit! Here comes Slash's solo.
You can see that the president's signature initiatives in the One Big Beautiful Bill.
I can't hear it.
And I tell you, he fought harder than anyone for these. No tax on tips, no tax on the overtime, no tax on Social Security, auto deductibility that the bill was passed in July. Working Americans didn't change their withholding, so they're going to be getting very large refunds in the first quarter. So I think we're going to see 150 billion of refunds, which could be between $1,000, $2,000 per household. Then they'll change their withholding, and they'll get a
beat it. I love that. It's good fun. One of my favorite music videos as a kid. Love that. Gang fight. All right. McDonald's pulls creepy AI Christmas ad after viewer backlash. Huh? Why? Oh, it's AI. They used AI. Creepy AI Christmas ad. All right, I've got to see it. McDonald's has released an AI-generated Christmas ad. The studio behind it says they hardly slept for several freaking weeks while writing AI prompts and refining the shots. AI didn't make this film, we did. You know, you could have just, I don't know, spent weeks with a camera and a crew and provided work for people. Ugh. That is way too loud. Well. It's the most terrible time of the year. All the shops turn to mayhem, even Santa knows space, and the tree redecorated your place. It's the most terrible time of the year. The roast burns to charcoal, and the cookies burn too. Freaking chaos, it feels like a zoo. It's the most terrible time of the year. So you flee from the madness, the lights, and the cheer, and hide out in McDonald's till January's here. Like Luigi, or? That guy did look Luigi-esque. He's going to kick it in McDonald's with his backpack of goodies. McDonald's till January's here. It's creepy. That was creepy. You can see why they deleted it. Oh, okay, so they turned off comments first and then removed it completely. That embarrassing, huh? McDonald's Netherlands told the BBC that the video is meant to reflect the stressful moments that can occur during the holidays. Well, I mean, it kind of did that by stressing me the heck out with creepy AI imagery that I just don't want to see. Disturbing. Stressful, I guess you could, yeah. They were going for creepy, depressing, deeply unfunny, clumsily shot, poorly edited, and inauthentic. They nailed it. Yeah, that's it in a nutshell. Macron, Starmer, and Merz spoke with Trump about Ukraine. Okay. I think he's gonna yank out. I think he's right on the edge. I think he's pretty much done with Ukraine. We'll see. Here's the healthcare slide that House Republican leadership presented to the rank and file today. Into what they're thinking and doing, I guess. Republicans still discussing options. Note that extending Obamacare subsidies is not listed. Good. Republicans are working to lower healthcare costs for everyone, give Americans more options for healthcare, and fight the middleman. Association health plans, choice accounts, health savings accounts, cost sharing reductions, modifying the Trump admin's rules to fix the Unaffordable Care Act, PPM reform, innovation, price transparency, site neutrality, and provider-owned hospitals. Education Department has proposed a legal settlement that would end the SAVE repayment plan. Approved by the courts, the settlement will require that no new borrowers are enrolled in the SAVE program, which based monthly bills on borrowers' incomes. It was hailed by the Biden admin as the most affordable student loan repayment option in history. Yeah, what a joke. Oh, I got a House Republican press conference going on. Let's see it.
She is the face of
live now. We'll play this out for a bit.
Of the Democratic Party. She and Mom elect another Republican senator in Texas. Texas is a red state. Texas, the people of Texas are common sense Americans, and what Jasmine is trying to sell will not be purchased by the folks of Texas. That is my prediction. Yes, yes. Thank you. Thanks so much.
Well, I guess that's it. Go back a little bit.
What are you going to do about that? The Democrats had a chance to vote to make life more affordable earlier this year in the Working Families Tax Cut, the big, beautiful bill, and they blew it. The House version of the bill, you may remember, included cost-sharing reductions. We passed that out of the House, we sent it to the Senate, and what that would have done is would have lowered premiums for the average American family by over 12%. Democrats fought to strip that out of the bill. Every American watching today should remember that. The Democrats had a chance to actually lower your premium 6 months ago, but they refused because they wanted to keep health care as a political football. They do not want a solution. They want an issue. That's what this is about. They use the American taxpayers, they admitted themselves during the longest shutdown in U.S. history a few weeks back, as leverage in this cynical political game. So in the coming days, what you're going to see is the other party, the Republican Party, continuing to do the important work that we've already begun to actually lower the cost of health care and reduce fraud, and we hope Democrats will join us in those efforts. There are two parties in this town. One has no intention and no plan and no desire to lower your health care costs. They really haven't put any good idea on the table. They just want to subsidize a broken system. Check them on that. The Republican Party, on the other hand, is already demonstrating that we know how to do this. We're not just talking about it, we've done it. In the Working Families Tax Cut, you will remember, in the Medicaid reforms, we went after program integrity. We didn't change the substance of Medicaid, as they've claimed falsely. We went to program integrity. Why? Because we owed that to the American taxpayers. We got ineligible recipients off of Medicaid, and we cut out the fraud, waste, and abuse. And the CBO said they've calculated it saved $185 billion for American taxpayers, and it reduced premiums. We reformed it to strengthen Medicaid. Those same principles are going to guide us in the months, in the weeks, the days and weeks and months forward. As Leader Scalise noted, we have some low-hanging fruit. We have some things that every Republican agrees to. Democrats won't. Remember, they don't actually want to fix this problem. But you're going to see a package come together that will be on the floor next week that will actually reduce premiums for 100% of Americans who are on health insurance, not just the 7%. Remember, the COVID-era subsidy only covers 7% of Americans, and it was passed and extended without any reforms at all. It would only reduce their premiums by 4%. So they're using that as a red herring. The overall system is broken, and we're the ones that are going to fix it. You will see that laid out. Thanks to the good work of Chairman Cole and all of our appropriators, we have our appropriations process that will be going forward as well. We're moving those through the regular order process, and that's the way it's supposed to work. So you'll see many of those going through the process, and we think we can get it all wrapped up by the end of that deadline on January 30th. And you'll see that process continue over the days and weeks ahead as well. I will say this again. This Congress has been the most productive and successful in the modern era, and I think you can make an argument, one of the top 5 of all time. You'll have heard me say that. Look at the evidence and the facts. Don't listen to the talking points. This team has delivered with small margins what the American people asked us to do and what we promised we would do. And that work has just begun. It will continue in earnest all the way through the end of this year as we sprint through the end of this calendar year and we start the new session in January. We never take our foot off the gas. So,
all right, let's keep going. What is Santa doing? Oh God.
Last Christmas, I gave you my heart, but the very next day.
This is our viral Facebook videos. Shit people will do for clicks, man. All right. Unsealed records expose ghostwriter behind Wisconsin judge's Trump elector order. Explosive Wisconsin records accuse retired Judge Frank Remington of ghostwriting Judge Hyland's order against Trump's 2020 electors. Using Obama-era Judge Frank Remington of secretly drafting the order. Georgetown linguistics expert found Hyland's order mirrors Remington's language, tone, and structure, while metadata shows Remington's son was involved. The defense argues this proves a stacked deck and judicial misconduct as Democrats push a 2026 election year trial. That is, I hope Justice Department gets involved in that. That's crazy. Weird. Oh, DNC megadonor slams the Biden family's corruption.
You said Biden. I remember one time I was looking at this house in Harbor Beach, Fort Lauderdale, and the house was on the market for $99 million or $98 million. And I go inside
that is obscene
house. And I think the house just sold for like $67 million. It just closed for $67 million. And it was in Harbor Beach. Beautiful home. The guy bought 5 lots, turned it into his house. And yeah, that's the one, $70 million. That's the one that sold for, I think that's the one that's exactly the one. So $67 million is what it, $70 million that it sold.
Okay.
And it was, they're showing me all the rooms, beautiful place, out of control, just gorgeous. And I go into the master bedroom, I'm like, oh, it's nice. It's an American flag. Big American flag. Well, it was the American flag from inauguration when Joe Biden won.
Oh.
And it was D1 that was given to him. And it was a guy, I believe, Sussman. Am I saying it correctly?
Yeah, I know him.
Yeah. He was a big donor to Biden as well.
Got a place in Portugal.
He does have a place in Portugal. What made Biden so appealing for you to get behind him?
For me?
Yeah.
Because, look, Joe Biden was a guy who went home every night on a train to his family. Everybody else is leaving.
Wow, so you bought the story, huh?
In a double life in D.C., I liked his character. I liked the way that he loved his family.
No comment.
Biden, to me, was kind of a Clinton. Listen, Joe Biden was friends. I mean, he got in trouble for talking about, being friends with some Republicans. I mean, just for that. He was kind of in the middle. What made him appealing to me was I thought he had a compassionate heart.
These people, man.
He was a centrist, but his character. When we first talked about running,
I assume he has disabused himself of all of these notions by now.
Just a despicable character.
His son.
Hunter Biden. Yeah, I think so.
Oh.
But his deep love for Hunter Biden. I shouldn't say
I'm still making excuses for him.
Despicable. He's an addict.
These people will never be able to pull themselves out at this rate. Suck. See you later, alligator. Florida officers captured 10-foot long gator outside a 7-Eleven in Sarasota.
Big visitor to a Florida 7-Eleven. A 10-foot
he's feisty too. Look at him.
long alligator was corralled yesterday outside the Sarasota convenience store. Thankfully, no one was hurt.
Big boy.
Wildlife officials say it was the second large gator captured in just a week there. Last Tuesday, they caught one that was 14 feet long and more than 600 pounds. Big visitor to
Epstein's grand jury records from the 2019 prosecution must be released, a federal judge ruled. That means all 3 grand jury records will come to light. There we go. All 3. Should have them within the week, I would think. GOP majority whip.
Fraud, fraud, and more fraud.
Talking Minnesota.
It seems like every day there's a new discovery of stolen taxpayer dollars in my home state of Minnesota. And who is smack dab in the middle of it? The self-acknowledged liar, incompetent, failed governor, and failed vice presidential candidate Tim Walz. But with the world now watching, walls can no longer hide from accountability. I want to thank President Trump and his all-star administration for pursuing justice for the hardworking taxpayers of my state of Minnesota. Secretary Noem, Secretary Besson, Secretary Duffy, FBI Director Patel, Administrator Loeffler, Dr. Oz, Stephen Miller, Border Czar Tom Homan, and even more in the Trump administration have sounded the alarm and taken action finally. On behalf of the people of Minnesota, thank you. In addition to exposing and eliminating rampant waste, fraud, and abuse, President Trump and House Republicans are delivering on our promise to restore affordability and opportunity for the American people. With legislation to streamline permitting, unleash American energy, and increase opportunities for Americans to invest in their futures, we're working to lower costs, support American jobs, and spur business innovation. In particular, the nonpartisan INVEST Act, led by Congresswoman Ann Wagner, is going to cut bureaucratic red tape. It's going to empower small businesses in this country and entrepreneurs and give Americans more freedom to invest, build wealth, and save for the future. This will be another great week for America First Wins. And with that.
Okay. Well, and last up, good timing. American woman who works 2 jobs is livid after migrants came into her store at 2 o'clock in the morning and used taxpayer dollars to buy a shitload of junk food.
Okay, I got something to say. Okay, I'm at work. It's 2 o'clock in the fucking morning, and I'm at fucking work. Okay, these bitches come in, don't speak English.
Every time.
Okay? Oh, and all of a sudden a white racist behind the counter. Okay? This is what the fuck they ring up. Look at this. Nothing but fucking junk food. Nothing but
That is backwards. Unfortunately, I cannot read it.
fucking junk food. Look how long this bitch is. Look how
You gotta turn off the mirroring on your cell phone, my dear.
fucking long it is. And guess how much the remaining balance is? Guess how much these 2 racist fucking pieces of shit that is coming to my fucking country, and you're making fun of me because I'm standing at a fucking job at 2 in the fucking morning? Well, guess what? I got another job to go to when I get off of this one at 6 until about 3 in the afternoon, and then I gotta get some sleep, and then I gotta turn
Oh God, feel that.
around and do it all over again by 11 o'clock. So you motherfuckers that come into this fucking country and treat us like shit, I hope they bounce you out of this country so fucking fast that your fucking sombreros are left behind. Guess how much these bitches get? Guess how fucking much? Let me fucking tell you.
Okay, lay it on us.
3,247 motherfucking tax dollar fucking money. And then insult me. Oh, look at the talking Spanish, looking at me, laughing. Oh, the nasty white bitch. Yeah, I said, oh, get out of my motherfucking country. Get out, you worthless motherfuckers. Get the fuck out.
Dang, someone's had it. I feel that.
I
do.
agree with her.
Honestly, seriously. It's out of control, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Good morning, Pam.
Good morning to you all. Oh man, quite a crew in here. Yeah. Yeah, 5 of you, right?
Good morning.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. Good morning, everyone. How y'all doing? All right. Let me pop my share off here, and I gotta go get ready for work myself.
Well, we enjoy hearing it. Good to see you, Pam.
Yeah, back at y'all. You guys have a wonderful show.
Thank you.
There we go. Yep. See ya.
Have a good one.
I will. Yeah, back at you. All right, YouTube. That's it for me. I gotta go. Oh my goodness. Post-show stretch. Okay. Yeah, I gotta go. I gotta be. I'm working late tonight. I think. I don't know how long it's supposed to go, but I don't think we're gonna be done until after midnight. Which hopefully means overtime for me. I can take advantage of that. No tax on overtime. Coming here. So that's pretty cool. Automatic overtime after midnight. So I dig that. All right, I will catch you guys. I guess tomorrow morning. I guess I'll be back tomorrow morning to cover for Baddest Uncle Sam. Boy, I'm gonna be freaking exhausted though. So don't be too surprised if I just like skip YouTube tomorrow morning and just like put something on, because I can already tell you I'm gonna be zapped. It's gonna be rough. So we'll see how I'm doing. All right. And if I don't see you in the morning tomorrow, I will be back in the evening.